Hello and namaste. This is Tim Halloran, and this is a video for people interested in looking up their own transits and then looking up definitions and explanations by other astrologers on those transits. So this is really for beginner astrologers who want to, start looking at their own astro weather. And this is what I recommend for anybody who is beginning astrology, because textbooks and all those are really great for getting started too, obviously, but really the best way, in my opinion, to learn about these things is through direct, tangible observance of the energy of the planets as they affect you. That is the direct way to experience these things, to start to feel them out and to get to know these various energies and these planets. Okay? So, how to find your own transit chart. You can do this for free on the website astro.com. And once you get in there, you'll be asked to create an account, and you'll put in your birth chart information and all that. Once you've done that, you will go to horoscopes, drawings, and calculations on the left side menu, and then go to extended chart selection. Okay? And then once we've gone to extended chart selection, we make sure our name's at the top. Partner doesn't matter for this. Please select the chart type you want. We want transits, natal chart, and transits. And then under options, we're going to put in the date of the transit we want to look up. And there's a couple dates that I'm going to use as an example that you could look up. For example, April 15th, full moon lunar eclipse. April 20th is Easter. And around the 20th is when this grand kite formation in April is going to be most exact. And that's pretty much the most intense formation of April that we will be feeling. So I'm actually going to put in the 22nd of April because that's when that grand kite is most exact. You can pretty much put in any date around then to get a similar idea, but looking up this grand kite would be a great place to start noticing the transits, because the transits are very tangible and noticeable with this grand kite. Now, I also selected Lilith and the 5 main asteroids because I include those in my readings. And then you click here to show the chart, and voila, here's our chart. And what we're looking at here is this is actually two star charts. On the inside, this is our natal birth chart, and on the outside, this is the transits that we just entered the date for. Now, you don't want to pay attention to the aspect lines in the middle because those aren't actually acknowledging the transits. You can sort of get a vague idea of what's going on by saying, like, okay, Uranus is on top of my Mars, Pluto is on top of my Neptune, etc., etc. But we really want to look at the bottom here, because this aspectarian here is what's going to show us exactly what transits are and how close they are. And lo and behold, it looks like Tim is getting bombarded by the grand kite formation in April. He's got Mars exactly opposite Mars, and that Mars is square to Jupiter and Uranus. So if you see Tim in April, maybe give me a hug. Or maybe better yet, don't give me a hug because I might want to punch you. Give me a cookie. Or maybe better yet, don't give me a cookie. Give me a cookie on like a 10-foot stick. But anyways, you can look up these transits now. And by the way, we're looking at squares here. This is a square, the little red square. This is a trine, the blue triangle. The 2 circles that are connected, that is red, that's an opposition. And the 1 circle with the line coming off of it is a conjunction. Those are the basic aspects we're going to want to know to look up on this other website, which is thefutureminders.com. And actually, I don't know how to access this part of the website without the full URL, so I'm going to include that so you can click it. But it's thefutureminders.com / you can put anything, sun-transits / sun-conjunct-sun.cfm. But anyways, just click the link below. Or actually, I'm not going to be able to include the link below. So click the link in the information below and click that, and you'll get to this part of thefutureminders.com. Anyways, now what you can do is go to the right side menu, and we see sun transits, moon transits, etc., etc. So let's look up Mars transits, because that's what's going to be kicking my butt in April. We click Mars transits, okay, and I had an exact Mars square Neptune. So what we can do now is go to the bottom, and we'll see Mars conjunct Moon, Mars conjunct Mercury, Mars conjunct Venus. We want to find Mars conjunct Neptune because these are just the different planets. And then we see Mars conjunct Neptune, next Mars transit. We'll click the orange button. Mars opposition Neptune, next Mars transit. We're looking for a square. Mars sextile Neptune, next transit. A sextile is a green X with another line through it, by the way, if you're looking up that. And now we have Mars square Neptune. And the nice thing about this website is it doesn't just give one definition by one astrologer. It tends to include several different definitions from several different astrologers, so you can read through them all and get the gist of what that energy is like. Okay? So through these two websites, you can look up your own transit information, and you can look up definitions of what those transits mean. And as I said, in the future, the age of Aquarius that's coming, not only will we have the internet, we're going to have this technology as well. And we're really going to be becoming our own cosmic weathermen, I see, which will be not only revolutionizing consciousness, but the way we see ourselves and our interconnectivity with everybody else in the universe can be completely transformed simply by observing your own transits, because you can tangibly see and observe how this energy does affect you from a scientific perspective, where we are experimenting, where we're testing, where we're seeing results tangibly. And that is obviously the best way to learn about this stuff. Now, that being said, this is a great way to look at the separate chunks. And when we start learning about astrology at the beginning, we read these books that sort of give us cookbook definitions like, okay, my sun is in Gemini, blah, 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 it means that. Sun is in the 12th house, blah, 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 it means that. The reason people consult professional astrologers is it's really the role of the professional astrologer to take all of these different bits and pieces, all the aspects, all the house positions, etc., and now we're putting it together. It's like a giant, complicated puzzle. And as you start looking at your own transits over time, you'll be able to do this more and more. You'll start to understand how these different aspects relate and how these different planets relate. But that being said, I can do this for you by clicking the link below. I do transit readings on a donation basis. And otherwise, you can start looking at it yourself by checking out these two websites. So I'm wishing you the best, especially during the month of April while we have this grand kite tension. It's a great time of creativity, and so we can look at these different planetary positions and start to get an idea of how this will be personally affecting us. And in the future, I'm thinking about doing a video series that will start to describe these different energies through the houses, through the signs, and the different aspects, so you can sort of learn that way. But until then, I'm wishing you the very best, and happy upcoming lunar eclipse. Namaste.